They say that he's one of the greats in the heavyweight division.
Not really. The casuals say it. Now everyone knows who Mike is. The most casual fan knows, oh yeah, Mike, a heavyweight boxer. In terms of like the skill, the legacy that he did, that his career, I wouldn't put him up against, some of the greats. But yeah, so that's a pretty hot take. And Gervonta Davis can't be the face of boxing because of his behavior outside of the ring.
Zepeda is a workhorse. Zepeda threw like over 100 punches in like 3 rounds. Three of the rounds. It's crazy. I mean, this guy does not stop throwing punches.
For the first time in boxing history, we're going to see 2 against 1 match. And to be honest, I'm not really too excited about it.
And also another aspect is this main event they're not even that big. Like Fox G isn't a very big name either.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Last Round Podcast, where we talk about traditional boxing, influencer boxing, and everything in between. For today's episode, we'll be speaking about William Zepeda's return to the ring as he triumphantly won over Maxi Hughes, as well as Misfits 13, giving our predictions for that card. And lastly, we will be talking about some hot takes that some of our subscribers gave to us via community posts. So look forward to that. But before we get into the episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media accounts. It's in the links down below. We are on X, Twitter, and Instagram. And lastly, don't forget to follow us on Discord. The link is down in the description below as well. And I guess that's it. Let's dive right into it. This past weekend, we had the return of William El Camarón Zepeda. And he showed out, man. He's been looking for a world title shot. And this performance this past weekend was a very, very dominating, very I was starstruck, by what I was seeing. I was like, wow. What are you guys' thoughts about William Zepeda's victory over Maxi Hughes?
Yeah, it was very impressive. Zepeda really showed that. I mean, he's ready for the top guys, top elites of the 135 division. He has 30 fights already, and he's still in a contender. So I think he definitely has all the experience that he needs in order to take out these world champions.
Yeah, since the first fight that I saw him fight, it was against this dude from Texas, Hector Tanajara. The way he just beat an undefeated prospect, as if he was nothing. Yeah, I kind of was riding on that bandwagon for sure since then. Yeah, I think it's long overdue. I think Oscar De La Hoya has done a pretty good job of, managing his career. I know he already had maybe 20-some fights when he signed him, but I mean, he's done an excellent job of molding him into, the fighter that he is as of right now. And it's been a few short 3 years or whatever, and I think he's more than ready.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, Zepeda, is a workhorse. I mean, he throws volume punches, man. They were showing the stats before this fight. And he was averaging, I think he's a fighter that averages 99 punches a round. And then in this fight against Maxi Hughes, who is a respectable opponent. I mean, this guy, if you don't know, he went toe-to-toe with George Kambosos. His last fight. He got robbed. A lot of people say he got robbed. He got robbed. He did take the L. In this fight, Zepeda threw over 100 rounds in 3 rounds?
100 rounds?
100 punches.
100 punches in 3 rounds. Three of the rounds. It's crazy. I mean, this guy does not stop throwing punches.
Yeah, I was trying to compare him to any other fighter that I know that has a high output. And I was thinking maybe back in the day, maybe 2014, Roman Gonzalez, El Chocolatito. He had a pretty high output, but I mean, those lower weight classes, they do have a high output compared to some of these other weight classes.
Exactly. You see a guy throw 100 punches around in the flyweight division, bantamweight division. You don't see that happening in the lightweight division, you know. So that's what makes Zepeda really special. And coupled with the fact that he also has a lot of power, you know what I'm saying? His punches aren't soft, aren't weak, so he's throwing a lot of punches at you, and every single punch hurts. That's a dangerous opponent.
Well, I don't think he's that heavy-handed. I mean, he obviously does carry some type of weight in those hands, but I think it's all heavily on the volume. The thing is, not only is he a volume puncher, but he's a very effective volume puncher. There was this stat that came out from his fight this past weekend. He landed 161 punches in 12 minutes. 58 were body shots. and 40 of 182 pace. So that is an insane amount of punches he threw within that time span, and it was a very short fight. It didn't even get halfway there. I think Maxi Hughes' corner did the right thing in throwing it, stopping the fight in between rounds, because that fourth and final round that he lasted in there was. That was hellacious, man. He was getting pumped. I remember watching. I was like, "Yo, what is going on?" He did not stop punching
so quickly too. Like I was expecting maybe Maxi Hughes to, get out of the first couple rounds rather easy, and then Zepeda immediately just started turning it up, the volume, and it overwhelmed Maxi Hughes. I think the body shots were the key to this fight, because once he started landing those body shots, you could just tell Maxi Hughes' body language just started covering up that body, and then it was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, he was stiffening up from the body shots. What I was laughing about was because I think the round prior, the camera panned over to his wife. I think it was Sophia Hughes, and she was not happy. She was not having it.
No, that's crazy. Imagine, like...
They did him dirty.
Dude, your wife just seeing you get pummeled every single round. Oh.
They don't did her dirty, man. Yeah, I'm like, why are you showing her, man? Like, obviously, like, it's not going the way, and you're still showing her.
One of the comments said that they said if I was Max, I would have just told her to stay home.
Yes. It was a very... that's the thing. I remember coming into this fight, I was like, damn, this is stylistically... a very bad matchup for Maxi. Remember, I told you that too. I was predicting a stoppage from Zepeda, but I was not expecting it to be that early. I thought it was going to be like later in the fight, maybe 8th, 9th round stoppage. But no, I mean, the only close round was the first round, and I mean, Zepeda was just he. I mean, based on what we saw, he just let him. He was just trying to feel him. Try to just download the data. And I mean, it only took him a single round to do it, because the second the bell rang for the second round, he came out and was absolutely just pummeling them.
Yeah, he got his engine started quick. You know what I'm saying? And once he started it, there was nothing Maxi Hughes could do to stop it. I mean, yeah, you're right. The styles were just not there. Maxi Hughes, I don't know. He was just trying to continue to turn him. But Zepeda just would not stop, and I don't think Hughes had the power to actually, get respect from Zepeda to make Zepeda actually stop just advancing forward. He didn't have anything to do that.
No, yeah, you need some type of power to, because especially Zepeda is just a very volume, come forward. He attaches to you like a magnet. He's always in your face. So I mean, if you want to get some type of respect, you do have to have some type of power. If you want to go toe to toe with him, or at least make him back up, or make him think and not, be as aggressive or reckless that he does sometimes. Because the thing is, Zepeda is there to be hit. Yeah, he does have decent, head movement at points, but I mean, you can catch him clean, and he's been caught clean. I mean, Jojo Diaz caught him clean. Rene Alvarado caught him clean. He's been caught clean many times, and a fighter who does have enough power in his hands, I think can or will make Zepeda respect him. But as of right now, like this past weekend, Maxi Hughes didn't have that. He lacked that in his arsenal. So he was able to just just destroy him.
Yeah, Zepeda's offense is his defense. So then if you're able to get past his offense, I mean, his defense isn't anything crazy. So how does his offense is great, but how will it fare up against the world champions at 135?
I mean, I don't think he's been hurt. From what I've seen, I don't think I've ever seen him get.
I think he's been dropped once.
Okay, but I mean, it's possible that he gets hit, but like if he has a chin, well then I mean, that's another thing that he has going for him.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I suppose he could rely on his chin, but that's a very dangerous thing, especially at 135. Yeah. I think there's some power punches at 135 that could definitely crack.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. You got Gervonta in there as well.
Yeah, you got like Gervonta, you got like Frank Martin, Cambosis, Loma. You also got people like what's his name, Raymond Murataya. He's in there, which I think would be a great fight. Now that I think about it, because they're both.
I mentioned this last night.
I think that'd be a great fight. But so there's a lot of, I don't know, when it comes to, here's the thing, I do believe that Zepeda is ready for the top guys, but I mean, there's a big difference between fighting Shakur to fighting Maxi Hughes, or fighting a Lomachenko to a Jojo Diaz. We're talking about difference in levels, different type of fighter who brings in crazy amount of experience and a crazy amount of skill. So I want to say that Zepeda does have success in at least, even if he doesn't beat them, he will give them hell. He will make him work for it because he's that type of fighter who's going to keep coming at you. Like, his style is, what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to get a come forward, aggressive Mexican with high volume. So you know what you're going to get. They know what they're going to get into, whoever fights them, and they're going to have to work for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely one of the elites at 135. I mean, he has the experience to handle everybody at the top. But we still don't know that much about him. He hasn't been stepped up against like dangerous, hard opponents. So I think we have to wait and see how big his potential actually is. But let's not forget that George Kambosos was able to make it to the top of 135.
Yeah.
And George Kambosos, you know what I'm saying, is not the best fighter at 135. It was kind of crazy that he was able to make it undisputed. So, I mean, if I was William Zepeda, I'd think to myself, hey, George Kambosos was able to make it to the top. Why the hell can't I?
Yeah, and I feel like he's like the top contender or the guy next in line to fight for a belt in two sanctioning bodies. So I feel like he could become a world champion later this year. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Loma against Kambosos, is that for two of the titles? Or one of the titles?
I feel like it'd be for one because if it was two, that'd be insane.
Yeah. Well, let's go down the list. Shakur, champion. The WBC champion.
Yeah.
Tank is a WBA champion.
WBA.
And then, so there's two left.
And then I guess the winner of Loma.
Maybe it's the IBF.
And
it could be.
Emmanuel Navarrete is also fighting supposedly
For the WBO.
for vacant.
I think it's for the WBO.
So the WBO right now is vacant.
Vacant,
at the moment. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I was
in the IBF.
Yeah, I'd be
With
trying
IBF, yeah. So Lomachenko is fighting for IBF.
Mm-hmm. If I was a pet, I'd be trying to go for that.
For the Loma and the
Go for that
Kambosos?
vacant one.
Oh, okay.
I'd be trying to go for
Yeah.
I'm trying to go for that vacant one. I think that'd be a smart decision, honestly.
Yeah, because I know Tom Brink is maybe wanting to see Vaquero fight for the 135 WBO vacant belt. Maybe we could see.
We'll see.
We'll
Those
see.
are rumors, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Nothing is concrete.
No.
Nothing is, you know, so.
But I feel like, he's more than ready. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe the level of opposition, he doesn't have it on his resume. But, bro, he can't stop. Like, he doesn't stop throwing punches, bro. He doesn't get tired at all. Like, I assume that's not going to change.
Yeah, like his style is just so hard to beat.
Yeah.
Like, even if you beat him, let's say Gervonta is able to just counter him with one punch, knock him out like Rolly. I'm sure Gervonta's going to take a whooping. He's going to be hurting still because Zepeda is going to go in there and just throw punches at you. And he's going to land punches at you. So, like, even if Zepeda loses to these top guys, he's going to put up one hell of a fight.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Because, yeah, I think it's more than ready. I think this year he should definitely fight for a title.
Well, yeah, on paper, he should fight for a title. It just depends on if
Oscar
is willing to actually put him. Because I know Oscar be on Twitter. Saying, I remember after the fight, he was all like, at Shakur Stevenson, Zepeda's waiting for you or something like that. So Oscar, he made it verbally known that he wants Shakur against Zepeda, but Oscar tends to say a lot of things, and a lot of things he does say, don't really happen.
Yeah, Oscar's just a yapper.
Yeah,
bro. He's
like
just saying anything.
Professional yapper.
Yeah, professional yapper, promoter yapper. Like, he's just
a great marketer. I think he likes to be called.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could say that. But I mean, so it all depends on what path they want to take with Zepeda. Because I know Zepeda for sure. I mean, he said it afterwards on this post-fight interview that he wants to be a world champion. And I think, like you guys mentioned earlier, he's more than ready to now. He's at that level at that place in his career where he needs to fight for a world title because he's 30 fights in, 30 wins, 26 KOs. That's crazy. And I mean, after you have that many fights, I mean, people are gonna start asking questions like, "Yo, like, where's the fucking title shots and shit like that, Because, I mean, like, you look at, what's his name? Brandon Lee. He had, like, 30-some fights, and he's still a
prospect.
A prospect, and, he's still not a contender, even. So, so at this point, I do believe that Zepeda hopefully gets a title shot. The fight that I would like to see him fight next would be, ideally a Shakur, which I think the styles would be very interesting.
That's a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, very interesting. If not, I would love to see if Navarrete does go to 135, Navarrete versus Zepeda, because both motherfuckers have tanks, man. They have gas tanks.
Well, that's a great Mexican showdown.
And it sells. It would sell 100%. So that's the two fights I would like to see him fight next at 135. How about you guys? You guys have any?
For Zepeda?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think that would be his best chance at becoming a world champion. You know what I'm saying? Against Navarrete, someone from a lower weight class, someone who also, like him, relies on his offense for defense. You know what I'm saying? Awkward as well. Like, I think that would be the best fight instead of trying to wait for like a Loma versus Cambosos or Gervonta or Shakur. Like, I think that's just, you're just gonna waste your time for that because those guys are dog doing whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if Zepeda, yeah, I think that's honestly, I would be down for that fight. Zepeda versus Navarrete for the WBO at 135. Oh my.
Yeah, for me, I don't care who he's put with. He's gonna give a great fight. He even did like an Adrian Broner type post fight interview saying that anybody can get it. He called out Shakur, he called out Gervonta, and then he says like anyone can get it.
Yeah, the can man.
Can man.
Anybody can get it.
The Mexican.
Damn, I miss Broner, bro.
Broner, man. AB. All about Billy.
About Benjamin. Say that. Fuck it.
So so that was the William Zepeda's victory over Maxi Hughes this past weekend, and hopefully we see him in the title shot soon. There wasn't there wasn't too much boxing this weekend.
No.
So let's roll over to the influencer side. This coming week we have Misfits 13, in Nashville, Tennessee, headlined by Fox the G as he takes on Evil Hero and Most Wanted. A 2v1, the outnumbered match is what they're
First of its kind.
Yes, that's what they're dubbing it. So, this fight or this event has a lot of it's very interesting in the aspect that yes, we're getting the 2v1, which I'm not really too I'm not
excited
for. Now, my main thing I'm excited for is the lightweight interim title bouts that are happening as well, because we have Joey Knight as he takes on Baby Hulk, and we have Yuddy Gang as he takes on Lil Cracker. Now, those two fights, especially the Yuddy Gang and Lil Cracker one, have me excited because I'm like, a lot of things can happen. There's a lot of moving parts, especially now with Dean the Great, and his whole beef with Mams Taylor and KSI and the whole company in general. I don't know what his future holds. If he's going to keep fighting on Misfits. Mams said that he is. They're still going to honor his contract. But Aiden Roth came out and said that he supposedly signed Dean the Great. So I don't know what's going on with Dean.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, the thing I see, I'm predicting right now, if Dean doesn't fight on Misfits anymore, the winner of the tournament is going to become the new champion. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's starting to head in that direction. I mean, yeah, the relationship between Dean and Mams Taylor, KSI, just keeps on getting worse and worse every week. Like whatever new thing Dean posts, it seems KSI and Mams have something to say about it. Whatever Mams and KSI post, it seems Dean has something to say about it. Aiden Ross is also in here. It's just a whole mess,
Yeah.
Well, it's a whole mess over there. But for this fight, yeah, I mean, Misfits 13, yeah, the main event doesn't really captivate me like other Misfits. I think, yeah, those two fights will definitely steal the show.
Yeah, especially I feel like they're more level based, like they more match each other's levels, because I mean, you look at Fox the G, and you look at Evil Hero and Most Wanted. If you look at their old fights, I mean, Evil Hero is absolute garbage.
Yeah,
he does no promotion either. Like he's I don't know why he's even headlining, but Most Wanted, at least I've seen some of his promotion that he's been doing, so at least he's promoting, but boxing wise, he's not very good.
The skill level is very low.
Very low. It's obviously a way to get Fox the G to
they're building him up.
Yeah, they're really building, especially after his last performance. So I feel like they know that they may have a star in their hand. So they're gonna do whatever it takes to cultivate him, even if it means putting them up against two fighters at once. But how about you, Rudo? What do you think about the 2v1 concept?
Yeah. I mean, for the first time in boxing history, we're gonna see 2 against 1 match, and to be honest, I'm not really too excited about it, which kind of sucks. I said this before on this pod that like I like that Misfits does creative things and stuff like that, but 2 against 1 is just something that I don't really like, especially the level of opposition. Like Evil Hero and Most Wanted aren't the best guys. They're just there to For Fox to G to get a KO highlight reel.
They're just being fed to the
They're being
to the
victims.
lion.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, they're sheep really at the end of the day. So, and also another aspect is this main event they're not even that big. Like Fox G isn't a very big name either. They're trying to build him up to be a big name, Of course he has the potential to become something. But at the moment right now, I mean, he's not a very big name, so I'm really not that interested.
Yeah.
No.
How do you think the fight goes?
I think Fox G wins. Yeah.
By decision?
I think he stops both of them.
Well, I don't know.
I think he stops.
What happens if he stops one of them and then
I think they're gonna keep going.
they keep going? So the other one,
The one who gets KO just gets KO.
He gets put on a stretcher.
What if they
into the
stretcher
hospital?
for that motherfucker?
They're gonna leave him in there.
Yeah, they just fighting around his like dead body. This guy's struggling for oxygen and like I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Oh my god.
I think yeah. If you get stopped, I think. Actually, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, it's so. That's why this concept makes no sense to me.
Regardless, I do think Fox is gonna win though.
Mm-hmm.
But for let's say Joey Knight, Baby Hulk, I know we gave our predictions like a while ago, but that was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. Now we are a week away from the event, and we may have changed our minds about a couple of things. Seen a couple clips, a couple videos of them fighting. Do you guys have any change predictions? Who do you guys are favoring to win between Joey Knight and Baby Hulk?
Between Joey Knight and Baby Hulk, I'm gonna have to go with. I think I'm gonna have to stick to my original prediction. I think Joey Knight's gonna win. I think he's gonna win by decision. I don't think he's gonna stop Baby Hulk, but I think he's definitely gonna win by decision.
I believe in my prediction I gave that I was going for Baby Hulk, but I'm gonna switch it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna switch it. I mean, I've seen some clips of Baby Hulk hitting the pads, and he kind of looks like Dronte Davis a little bit.
Say that again.
Like a little bit. Yeah,
he's like a tank. He's built like a tank, man.
Really,
He's
dude.
short, stocky.
Yeah.
A little bit. The problem is, I think with what's his name again?
Joey
Baby
Knight?
Hulk.
Oh.
No, the thing with Baby Hulk is, I saw his street beefs. Obviously, he's well known for his street beefs. So has experience, being in a ring or in fighting people, having people watch him. So that's good. The thing is, we see in those fights that he's mainly a wrestler.
Takes them down.
Yeah, he takes people down and then he ground and pounds them. He's not really a striker where like a boxer where he's trying to like throw hands like crazy. I saw his hands. They're for an amateur, they're good. For a person who does street beefs, I mean, they're good.
right.
But like if against Joey Knight, I think he is a lot more fundamental. Joey Knight has a bigger grasp on how to actually like be in your stance, your range. He actually looks like a boxer. Whereas I think Baby Hulk is a little more of a brawler.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna rely just like on his aggression, and I think his aggression is gonna get him into some trouble.
Like an Anthony Taylor type of style, like a Sean Porter type of style.
No, I think it's gonna be less effective than that.
Yeah, I was about to say like less
like
effective.
something like that. Yeah.
No, I mean just being aggressive.
Being
I
aggressive.
feel
Yeah,
like he's gonna
just-
be overly aggressive to the point where he's gonna smother his punches. That's what I'm predicting. Which is why I'm sticking with Joey Knight. I do believe Joey Knight is more skillful and more technical, a lot more technical. I mean, he showed it against Most Wanted.
Yeah.
He was just stunning on him. And if he's able to do that again, which I don't think it's gonna be a bit harder for him since Baby Hulk is not gonna
He's a
respect
dog.
him. Yeah, he's gonna come in
That's
and try
one
to
thing,
knock
yeah.
his head off. Unlike Most Wanted, who I'm pretty sure was shitting bricks in there. But yeah. So if Joey Knight is able to just implement his style, I believe he's gonna cruise to a victory. I don't think he's gonna knock him out. I don't even think he's gonna stop him. But decision win for him, in my opinion. So we're all three for Joey Knight.
Yeah.
I'll for Joey Knight.
All right, how about the next one? Yuddy Gang versus Little Cracker. Now, this one is my personal favorite, and I think it's going to be easily one of the most, if not the most technical fight on Influencer ever. We have Yuddy Gang, who had, like, I think he said he had, like, around 20-some amateur fights. And Lil Cracker, who was known for his videos on YouTube, just fighting. He's also an amateur. I remember last year he went to the National Golden Gloves. I think he lasted like 2 nights before he got getting eliminated the second night. But yeah, so he has amateur experience, especially more at the national level. What do you guys think about this fight? Who do you guys have winning for Lil Cracker and Yuddy Gang?
Once again, I think Lil Cracker takes the victory. I mean, it's just like you said. This guy, Lil Cracker, has experience. You know, he's an actual amateur. He has had amateur fights. He's been training boxing for a very long time because I remember seeing him in my timeline like years ago. So he's been doing this for a while. I don't think he shouldn't get nervous, you know, but we don't know. Maybe he will get nervous. I think that's the only way that Yeti Gang would be able to get a victory is that Yeti Gang has actually experienced the Misfits' bright lights before, whereas Lil Cracker has never experienced it. But I still don't think that should play that big of a factor. I think Lil Cracker should pretty easily cruise to a victory against Yeti Gang.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Little Cracker still, huh? Little Cracker. Little Cracker.
Well, hold up.
Pause.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with him. I am gonna be very surprised if he struggles against Yeti Gang, but I'm not gonna give a prediction as if it's gonna be easy or it's gonna be hard. But I'm just saying I'm just gonna be surprised if he struggles to get the victory, and if he loses, then I'm gonna have Yeti Gang as probably the guy who's gonna win it all.
Yeah,
because I have Little Cracker being the guy winning the whole tournament.
Yeah, me too. I have Lil Cracker winning the entire tournament as well, which doesn't change my my prediction. I do think he's gonna beat Yeti Gang, but I do think he's gonna maybe struggle a little bit because Yeti Gang is a boxer. You know, he's not there to brawl. He's not there to, you know, try to knock your head off. He's there just to box you, and he has pretty decent boxing skills. And he's
taller too, no?
I think he's taller than him. So I do think Lil Cracker will have some types of problems when they're fighting. That will play a factor against them, but I do think he has enough experience to know how to deal with it. And plus, he posted a picture. He sparred with Rashidi Ellis.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, he sparred with Rashidi Ellis. That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Rashidi Ellis, what is he? 140? 147? Oh my god!
Yeah, he's a big boy.
How big is Lil Cracker?
135.
Not that big.
Not that big.
Yeah.
He's fighting
He
like
probably got his
132.
ass kicked in that ring.
If Rashidi wasn't being a bully,
I think Rashidi was being a bully. I put my money that Rashidi was a bully and beat the shit out of Lil Cracker.
So I mean, he at least has some sparring against bigger guys, and especially as a high level as Rashidi Ellis, you know. So I do think Lil Cracker will take the victory over Yeti Gang, but I do think it's gonna be a bit close at points.
Interesting.
So those are our predictions for the
Misfits.
influencer Misfits. Hopefully, I think during this card they're gonna maybe announce the next one, and hopefully we see another batch of the tournament being announced. And I'm pretty interested to see who they match up who against, because we're still waiting on Waleed Sharks on his return, who he's gonna be fighting, as well as the other unknown fighters, or not unknown fighters, but the other
lesser known.
Well known.
Like the Tasmanian Devil, you know, Argentinian King. Like you don't really know them, but I mean, this will be their time to show out and showcase to the scene what they're all about.
Unless they get paired to Waleed and then Waleed just finishes.
I think honestly, I think they're doing Waleed a favor here.
Yeah, right. Like, what if they just feed him like a little
They could feed
layup?
Yeah, because I mean, this first round of matchups are very tough. They're easily like four of the best ones, the best fighters. And then you got Waleed. You know, I feel like they gave him a little toss up because
they're gonna give him an easy one.
He is the. I'm pretty sure they consider him the number one ranked because you know he's already fought. He fought Dean. You know, he gave Dean a hard time in the first fight. You know, this and that. He dropped him. Yada yada yada. So I do think they have some bias or favoritism towards Waleed, which is why I do believe they're gonna try to feed him something light, and so he can showcase again and then get the hype back, because the hype really has died down since his very disastrous performance in that rematch against Dean the Great back in the Prime card in October. So we'll see. You know, hopefully they announce more or another set of matchups for the tournament. But yeah, so Misfits 13, March 23rd, showcasing in Nashville, Tennessee, 2v1 concept, outnumbered match. Oh man, but yeah, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But moving on, we actually we asked this question for our community on YouTube, and we asked them to give us some of their hot takes in boxing. We chose like one or two that we thought were pretty good. So let me pull it right up to our next concept of hot takes with our fans. Let's see. So the first one I'll be reading is from Rob8508, and he said, and this hot take is, the current world champions would beat the old ones. So,
Dang.
so would the current world champions beat the old ones? What do you guys thoughts about that?
Well, I think this is actually a pretty controversial topic because these boxing fans, they love talking about the old boxing era. They love talking about like the Four Kings era,
Yeah.
and even before like the heavyweight era, the golden era of boxing, I'd say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is saying like these current ones would beat them, but honestly, I think it is true. I mean, it's a sport at the end of the day, boxing, and medicine advances. Everything advances in sports over the years. So I mean, I think it only makes sense that these modern world champions have better technologies, have better medicine, have better recovery, better skill sets as well, because they learned from the greats of the past that they are better skilled than the old world champions.
Yeah, and I think it's just like chess. Like, you know, just one strategy worked in the past, and then another strategy comes along and just either improves on it, or it's just something completely different, but it's just a lot better. I think that's what it is too. Like, I remember, maybe not that I remember, but in specific, but I just know that like there's some boxers that take notes from, like, I know what's his name, Floyd Patterson had a pretty good hook. Some boxers copy it, but like they do some type of modern version, or it's a little bit more modified and stuff like that, but they just build on it. And I think that's what makes sense. I think they just improve on what used to work in the past, or there's new things that come up. I mean, recovery, I don't know how well athletes in the past used to recover too. Like, that's a huge component to being a world-class athlete.
Here's the thing, man. I guess you also got to take into consideration, like, I feel like some of the old world champions would do very well in today's day. I mean, if you look at Sugar Ray Leonard or Tommy Hitman Hearns, if you put them into now, I do think they would become world champions. There are a lot of champions back in the 80s, you know, in the old times, in the past, that I believe would have still large success nowadays if they were put in today's time. And I do think they would be a lot of the champions, current champions, because you really think a Rolly Romero would get
I will not stand here.
Roberto Duran?
Like, dude, yeah, he get molded. I'm telling you right now. There's a lot of good champions in the past, but there is some aspect of, you know, as the years go by, as decades fly by, technology or sports in general evolves, and I mean, you should be expecting that to be better. I remember I saw a clip of the Olympics, right? And it was like, you know, that I think it's the one where they like dance. They're like on the pole. They're like flying on the pole. They're like grabbing it. And, like,
the bar.
twirls.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
So I saw like a 100-year lapse of it, or just like from, I forgot what year it was, like I think in 1911 or something like that, to like 2011.
Damn.
Of the gymnastics doing that pole thing, and the difference in between the skill and what they were able to achieve in 100 years was crazy. Because you look at it from, you know, back in 1911, I believe it was, and, you know, they're doing their little, you know, twirls and spins. But then the clip from like 2011, they're like going crazy, you know?
And faster as well, too.
It was a lot more complex, a lot more, you know. There was a big jump in development when it came to that. So, and I believe that's the same thing when it comes to boxing, and more in the aspect that there's just a lot more facilities, a lot more opportunity for them to recover, to train better, to improve, compared to the past, which is obviously something that kind of sucks for them. But I do believe if you put like an old champion into today's age and let them have the same opportunities, I do believe they would still flourish.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I think a great example would be just Floyd Mayweather. Like, his father also had that style of like the shoulder roll, the Philly shell and stuff like that. His uncle, both of his uncles, Roger and I forgot.
The other one, Jeff.
The other one, Jeff.
Yeah, right.
Jeff. Yeah. They also had some type of variation of the Philly shell, but I mean, it took 3 generations or 2 generations for it to be kind of like developed, which is what Floyd Mayweather has. But he took it from, you know, the past fighters. His father, his uncles and whatnot.
Yeah, boxers nowadays build from the techniques from the past, and we're also thankful because we have like technologies. We're able to see their fights, you know, HD on YouTube, hundreds of fights. Whereas these old guys, I mean, what, your coach would be your only person really telling you like really new techniques and everything. So there's a lot of disadvantages. I think you're right though. I think a lot of old school world champions would of course still do amazing nowadays, but I think the actual issue is that the modern day greats are better than the old school greats. I think obviously
I don't think so.
There's lulls in like weight classes nowadays, right? Like you said, Rolly Romero. There's lulls sometimes. Some world champions they get to world champions and they're not that good. In the past, of course, we can like mention a great that was in that world champion, and then if you put him now, I think he would beat him. Yeah. But I think there's lulls in weight classes. I think the modern greats are better than the old school greats
for the most part.
I don't believe that.
For the most part. Ones?
No.
So you think Muhammad Ali would beat Tyson Fury or like Anthony Joshua?
Okay, you look. Back then, they all fought each other. Every single one of them fought the great other fighter in their division. You can't really name a single instance where they didn't fight another great fighter in the division. Look at nowadays. Look at the heavyweight, for example. Tyson Fury has not fought Anthony Joshua. He's, gonna fight Usyk, but, we'll wait until that actually happens. Okay. The only great he's really fought were, you could say, Klitschko and Wilder. But, I mean, Wilder's not, you look at him now and people are, tend to shit on Wilder a lot. If you look back at the heavyweights, they would fight each other. They'd fight the best ones in the division. And they would fight them not just once, but they'd fight them multiple times at points.
I'm not talking about their willingness to fight. I'm talking about like their skills. I think willingness, definitely, for sure. Back in the old school days, they were dogs. I mean, now there's a lot more Twitter beefs. There's a lot more people talking on the internet and not actually fighting. Yeah, I think the mindset definitely has shifted. I think probably social media and all stuff like that. But I think skill-wise, I think we are better now. Skill-wise.
I think that could be debated.
I don't know.
I think that could be
then
debated.
Maybe it is a hot take.
It is a hot take. I think that could be debated. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of flaws in today's boxing that I can understand why people would be like, oh, the past was so much better,
Well, yeah, it goes back into I think the politics of boxing was a lot better. But maybe it even wasn't. I mean, we had Don King, who was a vampire with these boxers, man. Like, there was still a lot of fuck shit going on back in the day. Don't get it twisted. Like,
bro, he gave out slave contracts.
Yeah, that boy was charging like thousands of dollars for like towels for Mike Tyson, bro. Like, so I don't know, but
it's a business, man.
It's a business, I guess. Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like for you, I'm of the same way of thinking that you said that for the most part, the modern boxers of today's age would beat the ones in the past.
For the most part.
For the most part,
you know
what I'm saying. So. But one guy that I think in the past, and this isn't too far back, but I think that a lot of boxers in his weight class would have trouble beating would be Roy Jones Jr. I mean, I've seen not all of his fights, but I've seen a handful of his fights, and dude, that dude looks untouchable. When you think of a fighter who was a complete fighter, like I think of Roy Jones. Not only was he quick, he also had really good reflexes. He had power in both hands. He was almost always like 2 steps above his opponent. Two steps. Above his opponent. Ahead of his opponent. So yeah, I feel like he's one of the ones that I think would definitely flourish in today's age.
I feel like anyone from the 80s, from like the prime, the Four Kings.
The Four Kings era.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
Oh yeah. They'd reach Hagler would reach the top.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, they'd reach the top. I mean, they're great. They're all-time greats.
Leonard. All those guys, I believe, would have great success.
Duran. Yeah.
Duran. I mean, they're all relatively big for their weight too. I mean, maybe not Duran, but Duran was just wide as hell, man.
Those motherfuckers just kept on going up in weights. Yeah. Like, they would not stop. It was crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah, like Duran, he went all the way up to like what? Like
60, no?
He went from 135 to like 160 some. Yeah. 65.
I mean, that was also during the time where he doesn't really...
Yeah, he stopped. He let himself go.
Yeah, a little,
but he still had power.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a crazy fighter, which is what I'm saying. I just believe a lot of these old fighters would still...
They would
find
still
great
definitely.
success.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But so yeah, I guess that was a hot take.
Hot
and
take.
People are online. They're gonna give a shit for that.
Yeah.
one.
Let's see. Because
You guys don't know anything.
people, boxers, they love the old school boxing. It's like I understand because there's a lot of flaws of the new. I mean, especially with the politics.
Yeah.
With the promoters and fights not being made, but there was still some fuck shit going on back in the day. Like, let's
Yeah.
not be honest. And the new school is still cool. So
Yeah. When you guys think of old school boxing, what age range are we thinking? Like decades?
I'm thinking like the Four Kings all the way to the back to
Okay.
like Muhammad Ali.
You can even make the age, argument of like the 90s too.
Yeah, you can, but I'd say I usually don't. Like me personally, but I think you can.
Yeah.
You can make that
Or
argument.
anything after, before 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, it's
2000
pretty young. That's pretty
babies.
recent, like 20 years.
Yeah.
But it could be. Some people do classify
When I
it
think
as
of old school, old school boxing, like
Thinking of like 1930s.
dude, I'm thinking of the guys that were like this in the middle of the ring.
No, bro.
that. You're thinking about like they weren't even televised. These motherfuckers, dude.
No,
Like,
it was black and white.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
dude, those people are dogs, though, man. Like they fight like every week, CTE
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Oh, yeah,
like
dude.
they had like no padding,
padding.
and they just keep on fighting until someone just dropped.
Mhm.
Like that was crazy, and they just kept standing up. Okay, he's good.
He's good.
Go again, boom, boom, boom.
Oh
Someone
my
dropped,
God.
Go again, you know. It was crazy. CTE guaranteed for sure. Yeah, they were dogs. Man.
They were dogs,
They
sure.
I remember watching this one fight. I don't even remember what fight it was. I just tuned in. I just was watching it on YouTube. Bro, every time this guy would get dropped, and the moment the ref starts counting, bro, he doesn't even give it an 8 count. He stands up at like 6, and he's somewhat
Okay, go.
wobbly. And the ref just goes, okay, good, go.
Yeah.
He just gloves and goes. And he gets dropped again within like 30 seconds, and he starts counting.
Yeah.
He gets up, stumbling
Yeah.
at like 7. And he
So-
continues the fight.
Maybe that's what they mean when they say the old school boxing is better. Because that shit was just a street fight. At the end of the day, there was no rules in there, bro. Just like
That's insane. Dude. They were built different.
They
back
were,
then.
yeah.
They probably had like a.
I mean, they lived to the age of 45, and then they were. It's over. That's over.
They probably had like a smoke break, between rounds. Maybe a boom shot.
Yeah,
and then
dude.
go back in there and then fight and then
Oh
do
my
it again
God.
the next week.
Oh my
Because that was
god.
their profession. That's crazy. Yeah, those guys were crazy. But so that was the first hot take, I guess. And now the second one, it's about Gervonta Davis. At Black Adam 6445 said, Tank that name.
The other name, man.
Tank can't be the face of boxing so long as he's knuckle dusting women in real life, and that's the only reason he changed his name. House arrest annoys him. 100% emoji.
100% but you can't forget that one. That's crazy. That's
You
crazy.
guys
to-
believe that he can't be the face of boxing based on his what he does outside of the ring?
I mean, I don't know. Does the face of boxing have a behavior? Like, is there a level of behavior that the face of boxing must exude
Outside of the ring.
outside of the ring?
I feel like yes.
Because think of let's think of the most face of boxing, Muhammad Ali. This guy was a face of boxing not because of just his fights. Of course, he was a great fighter, but also because of how he held himself up outside of the ring, how he spoke outside of the ring. I think it is very important to how you carry yourself outside of the ring influences how people perceive you as the face of boxing.
Or perceive the sport. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you're very reckless, very chaotic outside of the ring, people claim that you're the face of boxing, they're gonna be like, is this really what this? Is he really supposed to represent what the sport is all about? So I do believe that your behavior outside of the ring does play a huge role in whether or not you are the face of boxing. I mean, Gervonta Davis, don't get it wrong, he is one of the best fighters in the world.
And a big draw.
And a
too.
big draw, he
Pay-per-view draw.
Pay-per-view, he does
Sell out arenas.
He does a good job. He has a great fan base, not only just with traditional fans, but also for the casuals. A lot of casual fans do know of him. But his behavior outside of the ring is questionable, and I mean, it does cause for concern. Is that behavior accepted? Are you willing to put him as the face of boxing because of that?
Because you're a representative of boxing at the end of the day. Once you're the face of boxing, you're representing boxing. People look at you and think boxing. So if they look at you and your life is crazy, I don't know. There's like a dissonance right there. I don't know.
I feel like it does, but only up to a certain degree. I mean, we talk about Muhammad Ali because he did all these things. He went to the Middle East at one point. I don't know what country he visited to do peace and whatnot. I know he was against Vietnam War, but we also have to remember he went to prison. He went to jail for a little bit. I mean,
Do you know the charges?
not wanting to go to war.
No, okay.
To get drafted for the Vietnam War.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I remember now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
I mean, that's not. I mean, I'd say that's a little different than.
that's going against the law.
Knuckle dusting women. That's not my words. Those are his.
Black Adam said it,
No,
bro.
crucify me.
I mean, he also.
I think it's different, dude.
It is different.
It
I mean,
is
it is different. I mean, Mike Tyson. I mean,
Mike Tyson. That is true.
yeah.
This is true. There is some savages in boxing.
Yeah.
Was my like. This is hard. It is hard.
I mean, I'm guessing he was still the face of boxing
During his prime?
During his prime, even after he came out of jail. Yeah, I mean, I know many people were very eager to wait for Mike Tyson to get out once he was put in prison.
And look at him right now. I mean, he's 60, about to fight Jake Paul. People still love him.
Still love him.
People adore Mike Tyson. He's one of the most respected people in boxing right now.
They say that he's
an icon.
They say that he's one of the greats in the heavyweight division, like Mount Rushmore types thing.
Not really.
No, but some people say it.
Yeah, the casuals say it. I'm just putting it out there.
Dang.
Casuals.
So you say-
That's my hot take. That's my hot take. I think casual fans see Mike Tyson more as one of the greats than traditional fans. I'm just putting it out there.
That's interesting. Wow.
You don't have him as
Mike Tyson overrated.
Yeah,
As one of the great. I do
like
think
a Mount Rushmore, like heavyweights.
if you're talking about like the icon, like he like the impact that he's had, of course he is, because everyone knows who Mike is. The most casual fan knows, oh yeah, Mike, the heavyweight boxer. Of course, yeah, I would say yeah, but in terms of like
Skill.
the skill, the legacy that he did, that his career, I wouldn't put him up against some of the greats. A lot of these great fighters, like George Foreman, Joe Frazier, even Sonny Liston, Ali, Lennox Lewis, I believe they had better careers than Mike.
I think that's also a very big point too, distinguishing from
Joe Lewis. Sorry.
Joe Lewis. Distinguishing from like the career that these boxers had and the impact that these boxers had. Because sometimes a lot of casuals, they do like to merge these two together. They say Muhammad Ali is the greatest because of the things that he's the greatest boxer of all time because of the things that he did to boxing. Okay,
It is huge what he did, though.
if we're talking about the impact of boxing, of course this guy's the best. You know what I'm saying? He took boxing to the golden ages. But if we're talking about his skills, his career, his resume, that's a different topic. So when you bring up like Mike Tyson, he is one of the most iconic figures in boxing. Of course, he is. But yeah, it's distinguishing then from talking about his career and what he actually accomplished during, when he was fighting.
Well, Gervonta Davis.
Let's go back to Gervonta Davis.
Let's go back to him.
It is a little different. I mean, domestic violence.
Mike Tyson had.
I mean, it was
Like,
a
yeah,
grape
but,
charge.
okay, look.
Yeah, it's worse.
Yeah, allegedly.
But right now, yeah.
He went to prison for it.
Allegedly. Anyways,
Blood got charged.
allegedly. Anyways, what's it called? I mean, people nowadays debate who's the face of boxing between Gervonta Davis and Canelo.
It's Canelo.
I do believe it's Canelo, but a lot of people believe it's Gervonta Davis.
They're wrong.
Why are they wrong?
That's my hot take. They're wrong.
Why are they wrong?
Because Canelo is a bigger star. And Canelo actually, I think it also gives him more points that Canelo does exude a face of boxing type of aura, type of confidence, type of atmosphere. He does represent boxing in a much better light than Gervonta Davis. I'm not saying that's the only thing that matters, but that aspect does, I feel, warrant him some points,
I mean, yeah, for sure. Every arena that could hold a boxing event would love. For sure, they would love to have both of the fighters, but for sure, I think it's just a different energy, a different atmosphere, as what you said, when Canelo is headlining. So, yeah, I mean, even then, there's so many things as to why one can argue that Canelo is the face of boxing. Like, the ticket sales are a lot more expensive. They get sold out at a much higher rate, faster rate than when Gervonta Davis puts out his tickets and stuff like that. There's more pay-per-view buys and stuff like that. Just more people know of him.
Well, how about this? Remember during the time Prime Mayweather, Prime Pacquiao, who was the face of boxing there? Because you had if you look at Mayweather's career during the time, he would sell out arenas. he'd generate a lot of pay-per-view. He was known as the pay-per-view king.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Pacquiao, who did the same thing. He sold out arenas, had good pay-per-views, and he, all his fights were action-packed. Who was the face of boxing then?
I think they were sharing the stage. It's just like a Messi Ronaldo. It's like you can't say that Messi was the face of soccer.
He is.
Debatable.
Yeah. Ronaldo was also sharing the stage with them all those years. I mean, they were both so important to soccer.
Yeah.
I think Mayweather and Pacquiao were like the same coin. They're both equally sharing the stage scene, trying to one-up each other. Who was the face of boxing for boxing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I think it's awesome when like a generation has two generational fighters in one era. For example, Pacquiao and Mayweather, because I feel like it's very rare, especially the things that they both did. I mean, you had Pacquiao, an 8 division world champ from 1/8,
Yeah.
climb all the way up to 154. Or he fought at 150, but he fought at the 154 limit, and knock out people there, at that weight. And then you had Mayweather, who, beat every single world champion that was put in front of him, and generated billions, or millions, I should say.
He
generated, Mayweather, who generated millions. I think it's crazy when you have the two generational fighters in the same weight division too. Partake in the same era. So I thought it was pretty cool. I remember the whole entire time people would be like, Mayweather sucks. Everyone hated Mayweather and everyone loved Pacquiao.
Yeah, it's true.
And then at the end of the day, Mayweather beat Pacquiao.
Allegedly. I will never accept that defeat.
No way. But so that's a pretty hot take. And Gervonta Davis can't be the face of boxing because of his behavior outside of the ring.
Yeah, it's hard because there's so many factors that just goes into it.
Yeah. I mean, that too. Also, apart from just the ticket sales and whatnot, the pay-per-view buys, but also, the level of opposition when you compare them side by side with Canelo's, and even, not even Canelo's, but even some of the other top, 3, other people that you would put in, if it wasn't them too. Yeah, I don't think it compares.
That's actually a very good point. It's not just about ticket sales or arena sales. Imagine if Jake Paul starts getting even bigger and bigger, and then he breaks records of selling out pay-per-views, selling out arenas. Would he be the face of boxing?
Yeah, because with that's a really good point, because it's not just that, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna do crazy views. His fight with Mike Tyson, it's gonna be on Netflix. You don't have to pay for it. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on TV. Everyone has Netflix, so a lot of people are definitely gonna be tuning in. And I'm talking about people, not only just casuals, but people who have not tuned into a fight in X amount of years, bro. So yeah, I mean, that's not just the indication as to dictate who is the face of boxing, ticket sales, or how many people. It's your level of opposition.
It's other things as well. Yeah, it's so many facets to the face of boxing, behavior, all this other stuff we're talking about. So, does Davis have the potential to become the face of boxing? I think so. He has the potential to become it because, I mean, he's on his way there.
Yeah.
He's been on his way.
Yeah, he's been on his way. Some little obstacles have gone in his way, but
baby mama trouble.
Yeah, he's on his way there. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how his career develops if he becomes a generational fighter.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
But so those were two of the hot takes that we deemed were pretty, we could dive a little deep into it. And I mean, if you guys have any thoughts about these hot takes, let us know down below if you agree or disagree with us. But I think we covered everything for this episode. Like I said, let us know down below. Is Gervonta Davis the face of boxing, or can he not be the face of boxing based on his behavior outside of the ring? Also, let us know down below your prediction for Misfits 13. Does Fox the G beat a Most Wanted and Evil Hero, or does Most Wanted come through and defeat Fox the G in a big upset? Let us know down below, as well as William Zepeda. Is he the best ranked lightweight fighter in the world? And if not, who is? Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, our TikTok, and X. And also don't forget to like and subscribe, and also comment down below with whatever you guys deem as criticizing or agreeing with us or whatever. Just let us know down below what you guys are thinking about boxing. And lastly, don't forget to follow us on Discord. The link is down in the description below. But yes, so this was your boy Pablo, and I'm with Rudo and Asa, and this is the Last Round Podcast. Thank you for watching.